Okay, so we've got case parts are in the ultrasonic and they're doing their ultrasonic-y thing. Let's do this where we change these because we've got to swap over to the black date wheel and black date wheel. That doesn't need to be here. Hang on just one second. Put it over there. Okay, good. Now, thinking about this, because it's North American, as much as it would be nice and interesting to put in German English date wheel, it never would have had that. So I'm going to go French English because the North American model sometimes it's very easy to imagine that they would have had French English because Lord knows I've seen it. So let's do that. Let's get those out and prepped and ready to go. Come on, stop fighting me. There we go. Dimanche. So there we go there. We only need one of these date wheels. Do not need two. We get that prepped and ready to open up. Okay, let's put that down there. Let's check that out. Gosh, I cannot believe how hard it was to find one of these. So difficult. And it's ridiculous. And again, I mean, these are the same components that are in the Darth tuna, which is a current model. But they're listed as discontinued. It's flabbergasting. I don't understand what Seiko was thinking. So this is going to be real interesting because I've never actually tried to do work with the camera in place. Maybe if I move this up a little bit, we'll see if that works. Again, we're running just a top flight A1 situation here. Couldn't be more advanced and fantastic than what I've got going on right now. Let's get that one out of there. Now these are Seiko simplified this movement a lot from the previous 6309 based movement, and so like everything as Seiko moves forward, they go for much more lightly constructed pieces. So rather than sort of the big heavy duty calendar plates and all that other kind of stuff, everything gets kind of light and thin. And that's just kind of the way they do stuff. Come on, would you come out? 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. Out. There we go. There's that. That can go back in here. Now, I don't have to clean this or oil this or do anything. It's a brand new movement, and I don't have to do anything to it. There's all this stuff, the little rocker wheels and things in your coil. I've already tested this movement, and it came equipped with a battery, and the battery is currently running. Hang on. Interesting. I'm not able to really see this as well as I'd like. That's okay. We go in there, and now we have to... Sorry if I keep bonking that with my head. Stop. I just bonked it again. I don't know, maybe I should try coming in from the side or something. Come on. It's always, like I said, I'm having not trouble, but it's always interesting trying to get this thing to sit down where it needs to be. The other ones, 60-09s, you basically just put everything in, bolt everything in place, and it just works. This is always a little bit more funky because, of course, you can see the main plate and everything that this thing is built into is this black fibrous material that Seiko liked. Which, by the way, battery acid hates this stuff, and so it's another sort of an issue with this sort of later movement family is that if you get a battery acid leak, gosh darn it. Okay, if you get a battery acid leak, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. Just sort of gently tighten that down. Nothing special. Just see where we're at. See if that's sitting down. Now I got to look at that very closely. So hang on just 1 second. See if that's doing what it ought to. Okay. So let's Let me just check that again real quick. Hang on. Come on. Okay, let's just drop that in. Get a little tighter. Let's test it again. We're going to run the calendar through, all through. Hang on just 1 second. I'm just checking this to make sure that it's running the way that it should. Hold on just 1 second. I need to put on my other eye really quickly. I can really just verify that this dropped into place. Come on. Tell me what I'm doing. Tell me what I'm doing. Okay. I think we're looking okay there. Let's just check to make sure that is doing what it ought to. Hang on just 1 second. Still fiddling here. Still fiddling. What is going on? Okay, one of the other things that's going on here is that I am very much used to working more with being right on top of it. So having to do this, I'm kind of a little bit far away from it. So what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to pause this and really look at it, because I want to make sure that it's right. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Well, it's you know, it's always fun with Seiko because you never quite know what you're going to run up against. Seiko, in their infinite wisdom, and also because I didn't think to confirm this stuff because I'm a flibberty gibbet, I simply assumed, because any normal person would assume, that when Seiko would sell a complete movement, like a complete 7C46, they would include all the parts that you would need. But no, that's not the case. So Seiko, in fact, they send these movements, and this advancing wheel for setting the day, for quick setting the day, it's not there. And naturally, because it's Seiko, the part is made of unobtainium, and naturally it's only used in 4 models, the Y183, the Y183, yeah, the one in the Y1, God, my brain just froze up, 143 and 148, Y Pulsar, and the Seiko 7C46 and 7C43, and they are out of stock or discontinued. Basically, there's no way to get them. But I was looking. I know what the part looks like because Seiko used a lot of parts like it. So this is a junk 7C43. I'm sorry, junk 7A38 movement, and this, it has this same part, this same wheel. It's pinned to this underplate here. So what I did, but it has a few differences. It's the hole in the center is too small, and the wheel itself is too short. So what I had to do here, by the way, is one of them. That is the little wheel, the little star wheel right there. So what I had to do, 2 things. One, I had to remount the inside to get it to fit over the post there, and then I needed to bring it up. So what I did to bring it up was to, let me get this out of here, is I got out my bottle of little different various ring jewels, and I got a ring jewel that fit perfectly around the bottom of this post right here, perfectly around the bottom of the post, and then I put so it brought up the correction, that correcting wheel there, exactly where it needed to be. So it was ridiculous, a ridiculous amount of work just to get it to the point that it would do that. So anyway, one of the challenges always with Seiko is the fact that Seiko simply does not do long-term support, even for watch models they're currently making. And if you need a part, God help you. So this is one of these things where, you know, my dad always taught me to be, my cat broke in here again. Kraken, stop. my dad always taught me to be a problem solver. It was one of the first lessons he really rammed into my head over and over and over again is, problem solving. You got to figure out how to solve the problem. So rather than, I could wait a few more weeks and try to come up with the parts in order to do this, or I could just figure a workaround. And this is, in fact, a workaround. And with the jewel in place, it should be perfectly fine. Ugh, Kraken, I'm going to have to kick you out of here, aren't I? This is not a place for kitty cats. No kitty cats. The dial was the dial and handset was very interesting to get apart, by the way. Very, very interesting. Where's that hole? Because the way they were not designed to come apart at all. Hang on. I need to look at these dial feet because they are they're ever so slightly bent out. So we got to look at the dial feet here. Sorry for the blurry picture. We got to look at the blurry picture for just a second while I get this thing set up. And then we will try it again. So let's try it and let's figure it out. Anyway, it had some fun, definitely had some fun going on, because these parts were not ever meant to be reused, but we are in fact reusing them. No, that looks okay. That should be fine. This is one of those things where, again, you want to just be careful. There she blows. There. So that's what it's supposed to look like. There. Isn't that nice? So there it is. Okay. And so that was literally hours of work to make that happen, where I had to find a closely related part in my stash of boxes and be able to machine and modify that part so that it will work correctly. And this isn't something I would do with a customer watch. I would just have to keep searching and find the right part. But if I had to, there's always a secondary workaround. Okay, that's where we're at right now. It's pretty late, so I'm gonna clock in and clock out, and we'll revisit. Thank you.